Hey guys, George here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my newest and favorite delay pedal, the Keely Halo Dual Echo. The Halo was developed in partnership with Andy Timmons, who, if you've ever heard play, you'll know he always has his delay on. And his delay is a bit of a mysterious thing. It doesn't sound like a regular delay. It has this mythical halo type sound. It's more like a lush reverb, but it very much is a delay, or should I say, two delays. So he used conventionally two deluxe memory men with different rhythms at the same time, and it would make this big cascading delay sound. What the Keely Halo allows you to do is to have his delay sound already preset in the pedal with one small little stomp box. There you go. That's it. If you've seen a deluxe memory man, they're quite big, let alone two on your board. So this saves a lot of space. The last ingredient in the recipe to Andy Timmons' sound is that modulation. You gotta get it just right. It has to sound real, it has to sound analog, and this pedal really nails it. So I was a user of the carbon copy for a long time, a pedal I really love, and it still is a great pedal for what it is, and it's simple, and I would highly recommend it to anyone that wants like a bucket brigade delay that for a cheap price. But the feature set of the Halo was for me a must-have. It has presets, up to 8 at a time, that you can get to by just using your feet. I'll go over that in a moment. So the things that drove me to upgrade and get this over my carbon copy, well, there was a few things. One was the presets on here. You can save up to 8 presets, and you can get to them all easily just with your foot. Now, there's when you're in a bank, you can press either one of these to access a preset. And then there's 4 different banks. You can access them by hitting that little switch, or of course when you're playing, you just step on both pedals and it cycles through the banks for you. So really easy way to get through to 8 different presets. Another thing was the size. This is, the size of just a standard pedal, and delay pedals are getting big. They're packed with features and presets and tap tempo, which this has as well. So they're big, I get it, but this has all that, and it's in this little box. This also has stereo in and out, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you today with the recording capabilities I have, but it is glorious. And then, of course, the unique delay algorithms that this has. Not only do you have delays like quarter note, dotted eighth, but they have unique rhythms like the Halo rhythm and a bucket brigade rhythm that mimics like a rack 80s type sound. It's similar to the Andy Timmons one, but with a different type of cascading rhythm. Yeah, they sound beautiful. So let me go through what these knobs do. There's 5 of them, and each of them has 2 functions. So there's time, that's the delay between your repeats. There's level, that's how loud your repeats are. Then there's feedback that's how many repeats you get. And then you have the rate and depth, and those both control your modulation. When you hold back the feedback knob in the middle and you turn the other ones, you get access to the secondary functions of the knobs. Here you have a saturation for the feedback, so it really dirties them up, gives them an analog feel. On the time side here, you have a high pass filter, which helps cut out some of the lows. Then you have tone, which controls the frequency of the delays. And then you have this cool little rhythm thing where you can choose between 5 different rhythms, bass rhythms of your delay, and work from there. The Andy Timmons Halo one being the one facing up. So yeah, needless to say, this thing has tons of functionality. You also get to plug in an expression pedal. I mean, this thing's got all the bells and whistles. And as if that wasn't enough, say you're using side A, if you hold down the B side, you get an infinite hold feature as well, so you can play over that. I mean, the fact that they got this much into this little box is amazing. Props to you, Keely. So really, the necessity for this came when I was playing, with my band, and I needed a slapback sound. I needed a nice long delay for solos. I needed a lot of delays, and I wasn't going to get on my hands and knees and tinker in the middle of a rehearsal or gig. So I needed something with presets. I recently downsized my pedal board, so getting something huge wasn't really an option for me. This was perfect. I want to take you through some more of my favorite sounds. They'll mostly be the presets that are on here. Let me also say that the delays came really loud, set from the presets, and you can easily adjust something like that easily. You go to the preset you want, you turn down the level, and you just save it. So you can easily fix that. But I think they came that loud because Andy Timmons himself, he has like an expression pedal in all the time. So the level of it doesn't really matter to him. You can, if you have an expression pedal, you can have the level up there, and then you pull the pedal back. So for him, I feel like it didn't really matter as much. So when it comes from the factory, brand new, you might have to turn down the level. Other than that, it's been a flawless experience. So yeah, I'll take you through some of the sounds, and you let me know what you think. All right, so I'm going to talk you guys through some of my presets, and I'm going to mess with some of the controls so you see how they interact. Okay, first we have the Andy Timmons Halo sound that comes preset on setting 1, and if you want to hear the rhythm, it sounds like this. So you can hear those 2 delays kind of cascading into one another at different rhythms, but say you play a chord or a note, it kind of blossoms around it like this. So you see, if you're playing very connected things, it sounds really good. But the moment you'll start playing like some staccato things, this delay's not really for that. Or any kind of short savvy stuff, not really good for that. But it'll still, if you're taking a solo, if you're playing a nice flowing line, it'll still sound good. It still connects everything really nicely. Okay, the next delay is just a quarter note delay. And I have it pretty short. I set this one up a little shorter and a little lower. It's just like my general use delay. It sounds really nice. Yeah, that's gonna sound really nice in a lot of different places. Let's go over to the next bank. All right, let's go to my next used delay. This is bank 2 B side. Not that it matters, but this is the slapback delay, and it sounds real nice. Okay, on preset 2 side A, there's this really long delay. So I think this will be a good opportunity to show off the modulation and then maybe the saturation as well. So as you can see, you can get a really seasick type sound with this. Obviously this is a lot. Nothing comes preset with this much modulation into it, but it's there if you ever want to use it. Let me show you the saturation and how it kind of degenerates the sound. Okay, so here it is with the saturation off. Here's saturation up halfway. It almost like distorts the sound if you put it too high. All right, let's take a look at the spectrum of tone control and how much that can dictate the sound of our repeats. So. Yeah, so much of that high end is maintained when you turn the knob clockwise. So another thing, so I have a little reverb on my amp, but I was recently at a rehearsal where the amp there did not have reverb, and I don't have a reverb pedal on my board, so I had to use this as like a pseudo reverb, and it actually does have a reverb setting. It comes on bank 3 side B. So let me turn the reverb off of my amp and let's see how it sounds. All right, so bone dry. Alright, let's switch guitars to some humbuckers. I'm going to throw some gain on here and you're going to see how the pedal really works well in that scenario as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please go down there and leave a like for me, and subscribe if you haven't. It helps the channel out a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot more guitar and music related content, and I'm doing a giveaway. So if I'm not at 1,000 subs yet, it's still live. The link for that will be down in the description below. So until next time, thanks so much and see ya.